Hi there, this is Akash from NIT. Welcome to this course, very interesting course, Data Driven Documents JavaScript Framework. In short, it's called D3JS. Data visualization is the presentation of data in a pictorial or graphical format. The primary goal of data visualization is to communicate information clearly and effectively and efficiently via statistical graphics, plots, and information graphics. Data visualization helps us to communicate our insights quickly and effectively. Any type of data which is represented by a visualization allows user to compare the data, generate analytic reports, understand patterns, and thus helps them to make the decision. Data visualization can be interactive so that users analyze specific data in the chart. Well, data visualization can be developed and integrated in regular websites and even mobile applications using different JavaScript framework. So this D3JS helps us to convert the data into visual representation, which further helps in analyzing data in a proper way and do proper prediction. So let's begin with this topic. D3JS development. What are the topics we'll be covering? We'll be talking about what is D3JS, Data Driven Document JavaScript Framework. Why do we need D3JS? Then we will talk about one example of D3JS, a few examples of D3JS on the web. What what is SVG? We'll be talking about SVG, which is very important topic for drawing graphics and some charts, bar graph, and all on the web pages. So it's very important topic. We'll be discussing about SVG. Then we'll see one example of D3JS and SVG together. And finally, we'll be dealing with one short project, which is NIT Money Tracker, using D3JS and Firebase. So basically, in this project, we'll be extracting data from Firebase and we'll be converting those data into pictorial format so that it can be used for some analysis purpose. So let's move to the next slide and see what is D3JS. D3JS is a JavaScript library used to create interactive visualizations in the browser. D3JS library allows us to manipulate elements of a web page in the context of a data set. What are the elements which we can manipulate using D3JS? The elements such as HTML, SVG, canvas, body, any other HTML element can be manipulated by using D3JS. And there are many APIs which can be used to do so. A few APIs such as select all, these two functions will help us to select a particular element of an HTML which we want to modify. Select all function helps to select all the element with a particular name, and a global setting can be applied to all those elements in one go. You can also introduce some elements, you can remove elements, you can edit the elements by using D3JS. In the picture, you can see some of the graphs which has been created by using D3JS. The data has been extracted from the various sources and those data has been converted into pictorial format or visual representation. So that's the use of D3JS. Let's move. Why do we need a D3JS? D3JS is one of the premier framework when compared to other libraries. This is because it works on the web and its data visualizations are par excellence. Another reason it has worked so well in owing to its flexibility. Since it works seamlessly with existing web technologies and can manipulate any part of the document object model, it is as flexible as the client-side web technology stack. The next point, very important point, is it's modular. You can download a small piece of D3JS. You don't have to download the whole package, but the only required module can be downloaded and can be plugged into a code. So at a given time, instance of time, you don't need to load the whole library. You just have to add a small piece of D3JS. D3JS is great for data visualization. As I have already discussed, data can be extracted from various sources, and those numerical data can be converted into visual representation or into pictorial format, which further can be used for analysis and prediction purpose. D3JS is an open source project and works without any plugin. It's extremely flexible, code reusability is supported. Let's move to the next slide. Let's see some examples of D3JS on the web. So the first example is a tree diagram. Basically, this tree diagram is not extracting any data from any sources, but instead it's using some random number to generate this pattern of branches, which you can see over here. There is one button. If I just click on this, you can see the change in the pattern. So this is not generated by using any data, but instead some random numbers has been used to generate this pattern, which is very interesting. So you can just go on playing with it. If you just keep clicking, you will see the different kind pattern, branch pattern is getting generated over here. Well, this is one example. Let's move to the another example, bar chart. So let's go to the bar chart. And so this is a bar chart which has been created using D3JS and SVG. You can see here we have y-axis, x-axis, and then we have some patterns over here. I would like to discuss a little bit about SVG. If I zoom this bar graph to the max, you won't find any blurred resolution. Can you see there is no blur resolution over here? It is because we are using SVG, which is scalable vector graphics. So it's very important concept, and we'll be discussing and we'll be dealing with in depth and in great detail on the later slides. So that's the benefit of using SVG. D3JS on the web. The next example is pie chart. So that's example of pie chart. You can see, you can also call it as a donut chart, basically. So here the data are represented into different, using different colors. You can select apples and the pattern will change. If you select oranges, the pattern keeps changing. So depending upon what you select, the data or the pattern will change. This is donut chart, or you can say pie chart. Let's see the next one, which is bubble chart. So bubble chart is used to represent varied bubbles with different sizes depending upon the weight of the content. For example, if you have a Java subject with huge content, so it can be represented by using big bubble, and if there is any other subject with less content, can be shown using small bubble. So here is an example. You can see this is a bubble chart, okay, and the various bubbles can be displayed with depending upon the content. The size of the bubble is decided. So this is a very good example. Let's move to the next one. The next example and the last one is the chord example. So if I just click on this, let's see the chord example over here. It's a very nice, beautiful pattern over here. So that's a chord. So all these things can be done using data-driven document JavaScript framework. And that is what we are going to deal with, along with SVG, which is scalable vector graphics. So let's move on to the next slide. What is SVG? That's very important topic. So let's discuss about SVG. It stands for Scalable Vector Graphics. It provides options to draw different shapes such as lines, rectangles, circle, ellipses, etc. The most important point of SVG or feature of SVG is if you draw any graphics on the pages using SVG and you zoom it to the max, there will be no effect or there will be no bad effect on the resolution of those graphs. But if you don't use SVG, then definitely the graphs will get blurred. So it is a good idea to use SVG in such web pages where the visual representation is very important. SVG is very similar in structure to HTML and it can be represented as DOM, which is Document Object Model. SVG properties can be specified as attributes. Let's move on to the next topic, which is an example of D3JS and SVG example. This example is quite very simple example. We are using a function called select, and select function helps us to select a particular element of an HTML, and we can manipulate that element by using D3. We are also using SVG over here so that if we zoom the web page, there will be no bad effect on the resolution of these graphics. So let's have a look at this example over here. To do this example, you need to install Visual Studio Code, and you also need to download which you have to download from d3js.org. Let me show you that. So here, d3js.org. Let's hit enter. So there you go. This is the website from where you have to download. So you have to just scroll down, and you can see there is a zip file, d3.zip. You just have to click on that and it will get downloaded. Let me show you. I have already downloaded it before, so I'll show you that. So let's go to download folder, and I must have D3 here. You can see that what you have to do is you need to extract, okay, and you have to grab this d3.min.js file. So copy this and go to your project folder. In this case, we have the project folder, which is NIT project D3JS file. Double click on this and paste that d3.min.js file. I have already pasted into it, so I'll just do it again for you. So my JavaScript file has been added into my project. What next? The next thing is you have to open your Visual Studio Code editor, and you have to start writing the code. So let's do that. All right, so after installation of VS Code and adding the d3.min.js file, here I have created one line.html in which I am writing some code. Okay, here you can see I have linked my d3.min.js file as an src in the JavaScript, and I have created 3 divs over here. Then we have the script tag, and I'm deciding the width and height of my SVG by declaring this to variable. And then this is important function which you can see, d3.select. The select function helps to select a particular element. You can select it by ID or by class name or by the element name itself. Okay, we'll be discussing about API later on. This is just a small demonstration how to select a particular element by ID. So here we have to give hash, and then we can append SVG to this element. Then what should be the width of that SVG is decided by this. We are manipulating the attribute of that width and height, and the style background color should be purple. And then inside this SVG, I'm appending line. Then the line basically takes 4 parameter, that is x1 the value, y1 the value, x2 the value, and y2 the value. All these are the values for the attributes for line element. Okay, and then the stroke, what should be the color of it and what should be the width of the stroke. I'm deciding it by manipulating the style attribute of line element. Later I'm accessing the next div, which is rectangle, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm appending SVG to it and then deciding the width, height, what should be the background color of it, and then I'm appending a new element, that is rect. Okay, this is important. So I'm adding a new element rect inside SVG, and then later I'm deciding what should be the attribute x and y position of the rectangle, that is 150, 250, and what should be the height and width of that rectangle, and we are going to fill with some color, that is red color. Okay, I'm also deciding now here you can see how I'm accessing the body element, d3.select body, and then using this function called attr attribute, I'm changing the bg color of that at runtime inside JavaScript. Great. Then I'm accessing the next div, which is circle, and I'm drawing a circle over here. First of all, I'm deciding the width and height of it, the background color of that SVG, and then I'm adding a new element, that is circle. The circle, if you want to draw a circle, you need the center position, that is cx and cy, the center position of that, and what should be the radius of that circle. And definitely you can fill with some color by using style attribute. So that's it, great. So let's run and have a look at the output. You can right click on this and click on open with live server, and you can see that is the output of this code. So we have got three SVG, three div. Inside that we have created three SVG, and inside every SVG I'm creating this different shape like line. Then we have this small little circle, and then we have this rectangle. And you can also notice how I'm changing the body BG color by using D3. Okay, this is very important. So I'm selecting the element body, and then I'm changing the attribute BG color of that body element. I'm changing it to yellow. Great. So this is one simple example of how to use D3 framework and SVG. Great. Let's move to the next topic. All right, so here we are on the last part of this course, that is a short project. The name of the project is NIT Money Tracker. This project is based on Firebase and D3JS. Firebase, we are using it as a data storage, and D3JS, we will be using it to extract the data from the Firebase, and we'll be converting those data into visual representation, or into some bar graph charts and so on. So you can see over here we are extracting the data and we are converting those data into a donut chart, which you can see over here. In this project we will be having two panel. One panel will help me to add the item in the Firebase database. The second panel will help me to extract the data and display it in pictorial format, as you can see on the screen. The project is basically, it's an NIT expense tracker. So it will just track how much money is being spent on a particular item every month. So let me show you on how it looks like in a web page. So this is how it looks like. It has got two panel. So over here, when you drag your mouse on a particular area of the donut chart, it will show you how much money is being spent on a particular item every month by NITN. Okay, so and also on this side you can see various item which has been extracted from the database. Here you can add some new item. Let's add a new item over here, training, and let's give the cost around 8,000. Training on Java. Okay, 8,000. Let's click add. So when I add it, you can see there is a change over here. Now the training on Java is occupying major area because a lot of money is being spent on Java training. That's why it is showing you a huge area for that. Okay, now we can also check whether it has been added to the Firebase database or not. So you can open console.firebase.google.com, and over here you can go to you must have Google account to do so. If you don't have Google account, you won't be able to open Firebase. So you can go to database section over here, and inside that you can add some new collection, and in every collection you can add some documents. As you can see here, I have added so many different documents over here. Inside every document there are some field which you can see here. Now let me search the one which I have just added, that is training, Java training. So that's training, most probably this one. Yeah, there you go. So training Java, and the amount which we are spending on this is around 80,000. So that's a huge money we are spending on it. Okay, so great. So what exactly happening in this project? We are extracting those data and we are converting into pie chart. So great. Thanks for watching.